We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. This is our February 25th special session. It is 4:30 exactly. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Ms. McGrew, will you call the roll, please, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Mayor Bill Hastings.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Chris Harris.
Here.
Councilmember Janet Court.
Here.
Councilmember Rory Robertson.
Here.
Councilmember Jennifer Stockdick.
Here.
And Councilmember Dusty Thiel.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you, ma'am. We will now have our invocation, which will be offered by Pastor Tim Barker with the Katy Community Fellowship Church, followed by Captain Brian Wojtek, who will lead us in the pledge to the U.S. flag and the Texas flag. Pastor Barker, thank you for being here this evening. We appreciate you coming, and I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you very much for the invitation to be here to say this prayer over you all today, and appreciate all that you do, and just want you to know we're praying for you every week here. Would you just bow your heads with me and let's pray together. God, our Heavenly Father, we just want to begin by acknowledging and inviting your presence to this meeting today. We thank you that we live in a community that understands the importance of your presence. Thank you for a city government that still sees the need to begin their meetings in prayer. Lord, we thank you for the blessing this community in such bountiful ways. Thank you for the men and women who faithfully serve in administrative, law enforcement, public service, and healthcare roles. We ask your protection, your provision, and peace for each of them and their families. And we also thank you for each person who served so sacrificially in the relief efforts this past week during the winter storm. We pray for complete restoration and repair for all of those affected. Now, Lord, we ask for your wisdom to be imparted to our mayor and to this council as they strive to lead and serve this city. Lord, I pray Proverbs 3:5 over them, that they would place all of their trust in you. They would seek your guidance and not just lean on their own understanding. The well-being and the future of the citizens of Katy rest in their decisions. So, oh Lord, we ask that you would direct each one of those decisions. We ask this in your Son, Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Captain Wojtek?
Yes, sir. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag.
Captain Wojtek, I think you cut off, but we all said it. Thank you for your help. Okay, we will move on to item number 3, Mayor's recognition of winter storm relief efforts. And guys, this is just a chance for me to blabber a little bit about city staff and how they worked and brought us through just one more crisis. Police department, fire department, you know, they never quit. They're out in the forefront of everything. Public Works is like the unsung heroes, and without them, the water department, street department, sewer department, all of our public works gang under the leadership of Elaine Lutringer and Mr. Rivera did an outstandingly amazing, wonderful, great job. They're the reasons that we came out of this with actually no more trouble than we had. And I think you look around at some of the other cities and the issues that they had, we can consider ourselves, even with the inconvenience that we had on this community through this storm, we still came out so far ahead and so much better than so many other cities. The water outage was a case of pumps, motors, electrical surges. It couldn't be helped, but I would have never expected it to be turned back on and fully operational within the period of time that our guys did that. And you got to remember that some of these guys had to be sent home after 32 hours, and they didn't want to go. And there was a lot of them that were knee deep, waist deep, elbow, shoulder deep in cold water. They went home several times every day to change clothes. And my hat is off to Public Works for all the many unseen things that they did, not just getting our water back home. Electricity, we had absolutely no control over. We were all sitting at home, bundled up. Luckily, some of us had fireplaces to huddle in front of, but city had no control over that. But once again, the city staff, everybody involved, even the clerical people, our IT people, our public relations people kept putting out messages to try to keep the public informed. And there was not an individual in this city that didn't work through this whole thing to try to reestablish all of the services that y'all so richly deserve. So once again, thank you to Public Works, Fire, Police, everybody in the city, all of our administrative staff, all of the people that made everything happen. Thank you so much. And we do appreciate you. Love every one of you, and thank you for everything that you did and the inconvenience that you had facing the same challenges, but yet you weren't able to be at home with your families like a lot of us were fortunate enough to be able to do. So once again, thank you very much. And we will move on to item number 4, which is public comments. I'd like to remind the audience that you have 3 minutes to speak on any item which is not, keyword is not on the agenda. If you would like to speak, *9 will raise your hand and Ms. McGrew will let you in for a conversation.
Mayor, we already have a list of commenters. Sean Fitzsimmons will be promoted at this time. Sean?
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. First off, obviously want to thank everyone that I saw stories of helping out with everything during the freeze last week. Another crazy time here in the Katy area and Houston area. So nice to see everyone coming together. I wanted to take a second and talk about the animal control stuff again that we talked about just about a month ago. We're sitting at just roughly under a month since we had that conversation. And I was just kind of curious what action has been taken based on the presentation from the chief of police during that last meeting. I'm not really seeing anything yet. So maybe there's stuff behind the scenes. I guess I'm a little not surprised, unfortunately, that it's not on the agenda today. I would have liked to have seen an update, Mr. Mayor, from you on, sort of what's going on with that. Probably would have liked to see the police chief on here talking about that again. I feel like this is one of those topics where you all think we're going to be quiet and go away. We're not. For me personally, I'll get louder, if this doesn't really truly get addressed. The website, for animal controls, still not being updated on a regular basis. That's disappointing. I haven't heard anything about the volunteer committee to assist with animal control, and reaching out and speaking to some of the rescues in the area. I'm hearing that, they're continuing to get the runaround on, just getting animals out of the shelter and, adopted out to families that want to keep them forever. This is just one of those things, going back to what I said during the last conversation we had earlier this month. This is a thing where Katy can decide, do we care about life, all life, not just people, or not? And the pivot that I seem to see from the city continues to point to not, and it's disappointing. Y'all are literally, I can see Katy from my house a quarter or so mile away, and it's really disappointing. So I expect more. I know a lot of people expect more, and we won't be quiet until we see some real change at that animal control. So thanks for the opportunity. I'll stop about a minute before my time's up, but thanks for the opportunity to speak. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Sean. At this time, we will now promote Claudine Vass.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, Mayor, City Council, staff members, and the residents in Katy. My name is Claudine Vass, and I am a resident in Rosenberg, and I reside at 10406 Chamois Trace Lane, Richmond, not Rosenberg. And even though I don't live in Katy, but I follow the news in Katy, and I am very grateful that, and to see all the great work that you guys have done to help your residents during the snowstorm. It was very impressive. On behalf of our organization, which is a 501c3 organization that specializes in animal welfare advocacy, I would like to speak on behalf of my board. And first thing we would like to thank you guys is the implementation plan that was announced about 3 weeks ago at the City Council workshop meeting. The plan shows great potential to save every healthy and treatable animal in your shelter under the care of the city, which we're very happy to see. And the goal of our offer of $2,000 worth of core vaccines is to help the city of Katy to ensure your policy of the 7-day hold is successful. I have sent an email to the mayor, the council, and the chief on February 7th with details. And I would like to stress the importance of keeping the animals healthy under your care. It is common knowledge that healthy animals will definitely bring in more rescue efforts and pet adoptions, which in return will help the animals move out of the operation much faster. That can easily be achieved by having a vaccine upon intake program and following proper sanitation protocols. Talking about local pet adoptions, and there's one important statistics I would like to mention, is the city of Katy has the potential of having about 400 local pet adoptions a year. And with less than 300 animals at Katy Animal Control, there's really no reason to not to provide that benefit to your taxpayers, should they want to adopt their next best friends from the city. And it is also common knowledge that when you collect adoption fees, that's a revenue positive activity, and not adopting them out is definitely, a revenue loss. And we also know the loss is not just a fiscal loss, it's also retail sales loss, because, people spent money on those animals. And last year during the pandemic, we as a nation spent about $100 billion in retail sales because of those animals. So the last but not least, our offer is sincere, and we're waiting for your consideration. And so please give us a time to meet and to discuss the no-kill philosophy in more details. And I look forward to collaborating with all of you to move things forward. And thanks again for letting me speak tonight. And I wish you guys a very good evening. Thanks again.
Of course, thank you for taking the time to speak. At this time, we will now promote Lynn Sullivan. Lynn,
hello.
Are you there? Hello.
Yes. Hi. Good afternoon. I'm Lynn Sullivan. I reside at 2901 Hackberry Lane, Katy 77493. It's been over 3 weeks since I last spoke in front of you. I hope each of you are doing well, especially after the snowstorm. Amount of extra work you put in to help the people who are affected by the weather. I want you to know my family and I are very grateful for your service. Today, I'm addressing my concerns and the same issues. I have concerns surrounding the operation of animal control. I understand investigations and making changes takes time. After giving it a reasonable amount of time, many residents that I talk to every day and myself are eager to learn of your progress. I also understand you cannot discuss the investigation or respond to our questions here. As a representative of the advocacy group No Kill Katy, I would like to begin a dialogue of open communication to help knock down some of these bureaucratic roadblocks. Therefore, I'm asking you to please find a way via another public meeting like a town hall to advise the public with information that pertains to a few of the concerns that have been brought to my attention. Without discussing the investigation, can you tell the public an estimated time of expected completion? Number 2, is animal control building a volunteer program, and how many more volunteers have we gained? Personally, I've seen a lot of people want to help out and want to help the animals. So this would be a good communication point. Number 3, data has shown that Katy has enough residents to afford local pet adoptions to prevent animals to be put down. Is that being considered by the city? And number 4, has the $2,000 worth of core vaccines offered by Fort Bend Pets Alive been considered? That's all I have right now. I sincerely hope our city decides to form some true partnerships with the local nonprofits, such as rescue organizations, on a more regular basis. There are also groups that have garnered success in improving animal control operation. They are eager to help us save lives of animals. All of these possible collaborative efforts will help relieve workload for the staff, and most important of all, extend our tight budget to save more lives of our pets in the facility. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Lynn. At this time, we have reached under the rules of procedure. There may only be 3 speakers per topic allowed. I do show that we have a hand raised for a Sarah. Sarah, I show you've been promoted. Did you wish to make a public comment about another item beyond animal control?
No, I'm sorry. My comments were mostly regarding thanking everyone for this amazing response after the storm. I mean, it's really shown how giving all of our neighbors are, but the rest of my comments are regarding the animal control and why we're continuing to waste taxpayer money on an issue that should have been solved 2 months ago. So if I'm allowed to speak on that continually, I would be happy to.
Mayor and council, you would need to have a motion. You need a motion to suspend the rules if you're going to allow continued talking on that item.
I understand. Is there a motion?
Do we have a motion to suspend the rules?
Hearing none, Mayor.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of residents that are appalled and disgusted and just want to know if there's an estimated date of completion for the investigation. I understand. Yeah.
Now, if you want, please email me at citysecretary@cityofkaty.com and I'll be glad to distribute it to the council.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Have a good evening.
Thank you. You too. And God bless all of you.
You too. I'm seeing no other hands at this time for public comments, Mayor.
Okay, we will move on to item number 5, which is comments from the public on any item on the agenda. Anyone wishing to participate via teleconference, if you would press *9 to raise your hand, Ms. McGrew will bring you in.
Seeing none at this time, Mayor.
All right, we will move on to item number 6, which is the first quarter investment report for 2020-2021. And this is an information item only. Item number 7 is a presentation by Miss Elizabeth Riley on the scrap metal yard complaint at 27239 Highway Boulevard, Katy, Texas. And this was requested by Miss Riley on February the 4th. Miss Riley?
IT's promoting her now. Let's see. They're showing they tried to promote her and I am not seeing her as a participant anymore.
She was just.
I know she was here.
Becky, give me just a moment, please.
Sure. I'm hoping she didn't, when you know how it kicks you out when it rejoins you as a panelist, I'm hoping she didn't think that that kicked her out and she may be closed, but it sounds like Chris is going to call her, Mayor.
We will give her just a few minutes and we'll move on to the item number 8 and then come back to her when we can get her to rejoin.
She's not answering. Sure.
All right, let's move on to item number 8.
Mayor, we have a hand up.
Okay.
IT, if you'll unmute Brad. Brad, we should be able to hear you at this time.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was trying to speak on the item number 5. I'm Brad Sartre with the EHRA, applicant for the Cane Island plats on the consent agenda and also the Katy ISD.
Brad, we don't have discussion on our consent agenda under our rules of procedure.
Okay, hang on one second.
Just wanted to, go ahead. I just wanted to say that we're here if there's any questions. I know there was one item that had a negative recommendation, so that's all.
That's fine. The only way that it'll be discussed is if it's pulled off the consent agenda, and if it were to happen that way, we will promote you at that time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Madam City Secretary, I have Miss Riley on the phone. Does she cannot rejoin? Is there a number that she needs to call to connect?
She's not able to rejoin via the Zoom link?
No.
Yeah, Sunday I was on it, and then I guess you were trying to maybe put me on the camera, and it just shut off.
Okay. We can hear you.
Keep her on your speaker phone, and we can do it that way.
Can you hear us, Betsy?
How about if I just try to do it, refresh, and just go back and rejoin?
Yes.
That'd be a good idea.
Yeah, she can also call in to 877-391-0239, but she'll have to enter the webinar ID, which is 894-810-55307. And IT will need the number she's calling in from, or she'll need to raise her hand when she calls in so they'll know it's her.
But Miss City Secretary, she's on the phone currently. She can just, if she might as well talk now if she's going to call in.
Chris's phone? Okay,
yeah.
That's fine.
Yes, Chris, if you can just allow her to use your phone to call in right now as we sit here.
Okay, she is on. Miss Riley is on right now.
Well, what I really wanted to do, hang on. Let me just try to get on this because I feel like it's just not as good.
Becky, do you want to go to the raise hand and maybe come back to her?
I know, I don't see a raised hand.
I just saw a raised hand. I'm sorry, hold on.
It may have been Kyle who was also being promoted for this item.
Okay, it was.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No, it takes a village.
Becky, does he need to raise his hand again?
No.
Okay. He's good. Okay.
I'm watching and I still have not seen her be able to join the meeting.
Becky, you want to resend the link to her via email?
There she is.
Okay, she is on there. She's on there now.
They've already promoted her. Betsy?
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, I can see all of you. Can you see me?
No, ma'am.
We cannot see you, but we can hear you.
Okay. Okay, fine. Is that how it's supposed to work?
Either is fine.
Okay. Okay, well, the subject right now is the metal scrapyard, which per their definition on the internet is a metal recycling plant. Now,
we own the buildings 27233, 27235, 27237 Highway Boulevard, Katy, Texas 77494. All three buildings basically front, if you will, this scrap recycling plant. I don't even know where to start, so I'm just going to try to start from the beginning. There are so many issues on this, but the main issue is it is a metal recycling plant. And what they're doing is they're taking in refrigerators, cars, trucks, and they're picking it up with an item which I would call, or and others call, the claw. This is a crane with a cab operated inside the cab with a boom, I would say about 250 feet in height and length. And this claw picks up the metal and then swings it into a metal recycling bin, a metal bin, which basically looks like a railroad car. It is the same size and shape as a railroad car with the top not on it. And then the item, be it a truck, car, various scrap, is then dropped into this metal container. The drop is a good 35 feet. Then it is crushed with the claw. Now, the noise is so incredible that I've not been able to rent out my buildings. And this has caused a great problem for our family. My father's owned this land since the 1960s. My grandfather bought it. And the land next door, which is now the recycling plant, my father also owned. So I know quite a bit about the property, and I'd like to bring up a few things later on that. But the main issue here is, yes, we are in M district. However, I do not anywhere under section 11 M district see anything that says metal recycling plants. Which when we say metal recycling, and one of the photos I included was, I guess it's a Bronco SUV, that will be picked up by the claw, and that will be dropped from a 35-foot drop into a metal receptacle and then crushed. There is glass, there's plastic that pop out of it. Now, the main problem here is, no matter how high of a fence you get, unless it's a 300-foot fence, you're going to get this debris that comes over, that flies out. Now, we've installed more cameras, and we have got videos of the metal flying either from the claw itself or flying out of the metal bin where it's being smashed and hitting the buildings. Now, I looked up crane operation, all this, and I can assure you it's an encyclopedia. But the bottom line is this, and I thought I had sent it, but I don't see it in there. If something is dropped from the claw, from a crane, the velocity of the dropped item can actually take out a roof of a building. It can smash a vehicle, and it most certainly will kill a human being. Now, this is what I have flying over daily, and it has only escalated. I have pleaded with this man. I have begged this man because our property is on the line. We're paying $28,000 a year property taxes, and we can't pay that if we don't have occupants in the buildings. There's only 3 buildings there, and they need to be occupied. And we take great care in taking care of those buildings. They are an asset to the city of Katy. The front building being occupied by Ulysses Martinez, Old Katy Car Care. A beautiful, beautiful business, clean. And he is out there sweeping every morning so that when his customers come, they don't get their tires popped from various pieces of metal, which are in the driveway, which come over daily. Then in the middle building, we have a commercial electrical company. And then in the back, where a lot of this main action is going on, it goes along the whole length of the fence, from Highway 90 all the way to the back, which is Snake Creek. The entire length, and I provided a photo so that you can see that entire length, which his metal bins, or whatever, metal bins are about 18 inches from the wooden privacy fence. And then the claw travels up and down as these metal units also travel up and down the fence line, filling up with trash. And when I say filling up, it'll go 5 feet past the height of the metal bin, which is, again, the size of a railroad car. Sometimes it's just cans. Sometimes it's refrigerators. Now, this led to an incident on the first week of February where Mr. Kyle Dahl phoned me up. I went over there. He had to send home one of his employees. Felt like they were going to faint. I called up the police, and I've called up the Katy police several times. I'll talk about this last time in particular, however. So we watched them with the claw pick up refrigerators, throw them into the metal bin, and smash them. And then gas came out. There was loud popping, sounded like a small explosion. And then you could actually kind of see the gas coming up and then the wind catching it. I got a whiff of it and it gave me a headache. Everyone had to leave. We all had to evacuate our properties due to this. Now, I believe it was Officer Rudd, and I didn't get his card because when he came and he personally saw it, and he stated he would personally testify that he saw that, he was immediately on the phone to Waller County, to the district attorney and all at Waller County, because this is in Waller County. And on what we can do about this, because it's a hazard. This company, this plant, is a hazard in so many ways. One, of course, is Freon gases being distributed into the air, which affect all of us. And I looked that up, and Freon, if you breathe a big whiff of it, will kill you deader than a hammer. Okay? So, very dangerous. And this is what he's doing. And I have a Katy police officer who testified he saw it himself. Okay, that was February, first week in February. Now going under permitted uses of M Industrial District. Again, I do not see recycling plant. Permitted uses shall not create any danger to health or safety to occupants of surrounding areas and do not create any offensive noise. Well, the noise is so deafening that Haney's Draperies, I talked to the gentleman who owns it, went and talked to him, and he can't even go outside his building and have a telephone conversation. And he's a good quarter of a mile away, okay? We're just on the other side of a little wooden picket fence. So the noise is absolutely deafening. And this is why I've lost tenants. If they have to work in at a desk in an office, talk to others on the telephone, they can't do it because of this noise. Vibration, you betcha. You can only imagine a large truck being dropped from 30 feet into a metal container and smashed. Lots of vibration. So much so that if you're doing detail work of any kind, you can't get it done because you're going to be jarred physically in my buildings. Smoke, dust, and odor. Well, loads of dust. We get like this thin yellow dust at times. It is not pollen. And when you smash metal, a toxic dust comes from it. So it should not be, metal should not be smashed in any populated area, period. I've looked this up. Dust, odor, heat, and glare by reason of high volume of relation to size and weight of merchandise handled. Well, that's what they do. They smash metal and create objectionable generation of truck traffic. Well, there's loads of truck traffic. That's all that there is because you have the public bringing them metal. That is how they operate. Now, I personally have seen these people who come as far as addicts, because I've talked to them, come right on through, swing off 10, come to the city of Katy, and that metal's falling off the back of their trucks. Now, while I was there, right before the storm, I saw a KISD truck pulling a flatbed trailer with a bunch of metal on it. And a piece of metal fell right off because it was just sitting there, you know, on the flatbed truck being taken to the scrapyard. So it's this company is causing not just me, but the whole city of Katy problems that maybe you're not aware of because you're not watching it. And I'm watching it, and yet, you know, it's hard for me to get my cell phone out and take a picture real quick. But that's exactly what's happening here. So we have the problem of the noise, which is deafening. And it's so deafening that it has affected my business. And my business is renting out rental buildings. And I can't do it. And if I can't do it, then I can't pay the taxes. And if I can't pay the taxes, I lose the buildings. And it's not right. Now, I've looked up what Mr. Louis Ferdado pays, and there's a lot of questions I have, and I'll be going into it because we have tried to talk to the tax adjuster in Waller County, et cetera, which is kind of like being in a bad game show. You know, you lose, you're too late, or the last company I hired were a no-show. So we're still paying these $30,000 a year taxes, where Mr. Fajardo seems to only be paying $2,100. I don't know how that one's working out. But what I do know is this. My father owned that property. It was 2 pieces of property when he sold it. And on the back was the leach field for the septic tank. Now, as an example, as a landlord, one of my jobs is to make sure that A, buildings are insured, B, everything's running correctly. So every 2 years, I have the septic tank pumped out and checked. I have a leach field, and I get my certificate. Well, next door, he has a septic tank too. However, he's poured asphalt over his leach field, and I don't know how that works. I know that you have to have a leach field or you have to have a sprayer, A or B, for a septic tank to work. I'd also like to remind everyone that his property, my property, back onto Snake Creek, okay? So we back onto that water that goes through Katy. And of course, when it rains with all this metal, and broken up metal, the oil comes off, that comes onto our property, we have to clean it off, and it also goes into the river. So there's a lot of pollution going on from this company. The freon in the air, the smashed metal with the dust that's toxic, the oil and everything and residue that comes from it.
Ms. Nicholson, Ms. Nicholson, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, this is Bill. And you know, we understand all of your issues, we really do. And we have worked very hard to try to address these. I by in no means want to cut you off, but I would like to ask you if we can give you a presentation of what we know, what we are working on and what we plan on doing, because I think it will answer most everything that you've addressed. So we have a presentation by our city planner, Anas Garfawi, and if you will be patient with us and let us put that out there for you to hear our plans, then I will give you a chance to close your statement after that presentation. Would that be all right?
That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Betsy. Anas?
Right. One second there. Thank you, Mayor. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you, Anas.
All right. So staff has prepared this presentation to discuss the findings on 27239 Highway Boulevard. All right, so this area is located just south of Highway 90. As you can see, it's marked in red. Kane Island Parkway is to the west. The property that Mrs. Riley was discussing is this one right here, where my arrow is. So 27239 Highway Boulevard is zoned M Industrial District. It is occupied by Katy Scrap Metal. Their hours of operations as listed on their website are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Saturdays are 8 a.m. to 5, and on Sundays, they are closed. So on this one, it's the same map with the exception of the zoning being overlaid on top of it. So in this light purple, you see the M Industrial District. To the north of 90, we have our R1 single family. In orange, we have Kane Island Master Plan Community. On the northwest, it's M Industrial. On the south, it's West 10 Business Park Plan Development District, which has both industrial and commercial. This image is a street level view of the location, and it is on the right-hand side. On the west is the Riley property, and as you can see, this is the old Katy Car Care business. So with that being said, our findings were related to the complaints made by Betsy Riley of 27233 Highway Boulevard. It's the property immediately to the east of the Katy Scrap Metal. So code enforcement started an investigation into this location, and here is what staff concluded. And when I say staff, it was made up of several departments. It was code enforcement, administration, public works, and the legal team. So the first violation is that TCQ permits were not obtained for this address. The second is a special use permit is required for the type of use that they have out there, and that's not something that they have. And I'll be able to walk you through on that one. So the initial zoning application that was submitted in February of 2012 was approved without a special use permit by a former city staff member. As a result, a certificate of occupancy was issued in 2012 approving the use. Now, I did mark that in 2012, the use that was presented to staff at the time is not the same use that is being in place today. And I will walk you through that. So this is the application that was submitted in January of 2012. And the use that was listed here is metal recycling, small business accepting metals from the public, and containing all metals and regulating all materials. On the back of this application, you can see here that the applicant checked no in the area that says does not involve storage, sale, or use of the following. Our investigation showed that he did have high piled stock as well as other hazards. We also pulled this from the website. that he was accepting vehicles, which is a direct violation of the City of Katy ordinance. This is not permitted anywhere in the city, regardless of a special use permit. And this was pulled from their website as of the 10th of this month, and it was removed when we checked on the 24th of this month. So that shows you that the use has grown from what was originally shown to the city. Now I'll walk you through the next steps. Because of the violations that are outstanding against this business, they must cease operations within 10 days of the notice that they were sent, and they have to seek full compliance. That means they must provide documentation from TCEQ. And TCEQ stands for the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. They govern this kind of, these types of permits. The second is for them to file a special use permit, which will take public hearings at the Planning Commission and City Council. And as you know, those require for all the property owners within 200 feet to be notified of this. So to conclude, Mayor, the notice was already sent to the property owner, and that completes the update that staff has for you. And at this time, we'll open it up to any questions that you or the council may have to staff.
Okay, Miss Nicholson, are you still on the line?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. I hope that answers a lot of your questions and that you can see some resolve coming in the issues that you face with this scrapyard next door. We are working on it, and we will continue to work on it, and he will not be allowed to do the things that you are upset about.
Well, as we stand today, when was this issued to him that he had 10 days?
Anas, can you answer that?
Sorry, I was just trying to unmute. It was issued by the code enforcement officer yesterday. So he's got 10 days. That would be March 10th when he has to completely stop operations.
Okay. Because one of the big questions I have, of course, it affects the businesses that people have. They're renting the buildings from me, but I have contacted so many people ad nauseum groups. And we did get what is it, Kyle, can you help me out here? That look after employees. And OSHA, right. But what I found out is I certainly took care of their employees over there at Scrapyard. They didn't have hard hats on or their vests that they needed, but they have to wear hard hats over there. Now, do we wear hard hats on our property? Because here comes the second question, and it's a big one. Liability here, because my insurance is coming up, and if someone's hurt on my property, they're apparently supposed to pay out. And I don't think they're going to pay out. I know insurance companies always will come up with an excuse to not pay out. And this is really a physical danger to people. So I've we can suck it up for 10 days. My goodness, we have put up with it for years now. But all he has done is just amp it up, this man, okay, Louis Fajardo. Those opening hours, that might be when he's open to the public to accept metals, but I will guarantee you that he works well after 7 at night. Our cameras show this, and he has lights, and he is going and blowing, just like hell to leather. And Sundays too. There is no off days at all. The other thing I would like to point out, and like all of you to be aware of, when we did contact OSHA, he, in a way to comply, he staged some things. He staged how far away he was and took photos and put them in, which of course contradict our photos. So I believe Mr. Kyle Dull was contacted by OSHA. Kyle, can you add on that at all?
Yeah. So I've got a little bit of an open-ended view on this. So I've just been kind of letting this issue stand for a while, just due to the fact that I'm new here. I believe in not peeing in your Cheerios if that's what you will. So I don't want to get Katie upset with me. But it did take until that instance where, I mean, we're cleaning up shop here. We're still trying to get it up and operational for what I need it for. And it basically got to a point where I'm like, gosh, I'm kind of loopy right now. I'm like, this is weird. The other guy in there is kind of like, yeah, it is kind of like, okay, wait, hold on. Something's not right. This is a gas leak. We need to go. Evacuate the building. We evacuated the building. And that's when I saw that for some odd reason, everybody in Katy was, it seemed to be refrigerant day. So I've seen him pop a couple times before and kind of made note of it. That instance, however, it just seemed, as luck may have it, that there was at least 20 or 30 of them that had popped in one day, where it just became nauseating to be in the shop here. We are a little bit slow, so thank God for that, to be honest. I don't want any clients here when anything like that is going on. However, we do have clients that do stop by and pick up said vehicles. And that's definitely something that I can see as business crippling. I've since, oh yeah.
I'd like to add one more thing. So when you do come to our buildings, obviously everyone got their occupancy permits and we had fire lanes painted out and all that. Due to this one of the metal railroad bins being up against the fence, the drainage for both pieces of property goes right along that fence line. And that is historical. That is how it was built in the 80s. And I even had O.D. Murphy come up and I talked to him last week and I said, you know, what can we do? Because this guy, you know, wants to take this little bit, which is about 18 inches, which is it's the drainage. And he said, there's nothing you can do because that's the way he cut the land back in the day, back in the 70s. It's cut that way for the water to go from 90 and both two properties slants all the way down to Snake Creek. So it was blocked up by this guy, which meant I had sitting water on asphalt, which meant then that asphalt broke up and I had a great big pothole. So I had to repair said pothole and for Dull's detail, because nice cars come in, you can't have low riding cars like a Porsche Panamera come in and, you know, ruin their front spoiler coming in. So I contacted and hired Sullivan's Paving to come in and do that and to also reseal. So I spent $27,000 resealing, fixing potholes, and we're in dispute with each other, although he seems to be a pretty nice guy, because there's constant stuff coming over. And he said, look, you know, for one, when I was on site, he had his men, and one guy just said, I'm not going to do that. I'm not standing under the claw. You know, no one wants to stand there.
Ms. Nicholson, I'm sorry, real quick to the parliamentarian. I just want to be sure we're being fair to all groups. Is there a 5-minute rule on? I don't want anybody else or other groups to be upset with us. So I want to be sure we're.
You're correct.
The rules,
Mr. And I was fixing to, Ms. Nicholson, everything that you're telling us again, we probably are aware of more issues than you are. And what I want you to understand is that we are working very hard to try to correct these. It will take a little bit of time, but we, like I said, are aware of more issues than you are. And we are working hard to take care of this. So I would just ask your patience for a few more days, watch the improvements that are being made. And I think we can take care of all of your problems.
Okay, just note that we don't have any markings on our asphalt due to this situation. And I know that old Katie Car Care is kind of uptight about it, thinking he's going to get closed down. I'm going to give him can I give him a phone call and say, y'all aren't going to do that? It's all in hand. We're all working together as a team. I'm not trying to be a bad landlord, and I don't think the paving guy is trying to be a bad paving.
I will call Ulysses in the morning and talk with him. But
thank you very much.
We are working on this very hard. So
thank you very much, Bill. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
We will move on to item number 8, which is the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
Mayor, if we may, I think there was someone that wanted a comment on the consent agenda. I believe there was an issue. One of the items on the consent agenda has a disapproval, and I think they wanted an opportunity to discuss that disapproval. They may have complied with all the items, but I couldn't tell exactly what he was saying when this conversation broke up.
Brad wanted us to know that he was on the line if they had any questions.
And Mayor and Council, this is Anas. They have addressed all the comments as of yesterday, so staff is approving that it's approved.
Mayor,
so the motion on that item would be approved as opposed to what's on the agenda as disapproved. Correct, Anas?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Anas, which item is it?
That's A4.
Okay, Mayor, I'll move to approve the entire consent agenda with item 8A4 noted as approved.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We will move on to item number 9. Number 9 is consider a resolution commending David Landecker's years of service with the city. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Katy authorizing the mayor to commend David Landecker's 4 decades of service as city engineer to the City of Katy, Texas, and to name the City of Katy detention facilities located at north of Morton Road and east of Pitts Road as Landecker Landing. Be it resolved by City Council of the City of Katy, Texas, whereas Mr. David Landecker served as an integral part of the City of Katy as a city engineer and continued to serve in that capacity for over 4 decades. And whereas Mr. Landecker was instrumental in ensuring that the city's public facilities and roadways were designed and constructed in accordance with high standards, and whereas Mr. Landecker on numerous occasions performed work above and beyond the call of duty while exhibiting loyalty, dedication, and professionalism. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Katy, Texas. Section 1, the City Council hereby finds that David Landecker has made invaluable contributions to the City of Katy, Texas by serving as city engineer for over 40 years. Section 2, the City Council hereby finds that David Landecker has made invaluable contributions to the City of Katy by using his superb engineering knowledge, dedication, and skill for the benefit of the City of Katy, or citizens of Katy. Section 3, the City Council hereby names the City of Katy detention facilities located north of Morton Road and east of Pitts Road as Landecker Landing in honor of Mr. David Landecker. The City Council, Section 4, the City Council of the City of Katy, Texas hereby adopts this resolution to commend and express great appreciation to David Landecker for his outstanding service. Passed and approved 22nd day of February 2021. Signed by Bill Hastings, Mayor. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Second.
Motion and second. Is there any discussion?
I would just like to say something, if I may.
Yes.
I'm really happy that that we're doing something to honor David, something that is more than just a bench or a tree. I would like to give credit to former council member Duran Dowdle for coming up with this idea. I passed it on to the mayor, who liked it, and he ran with it. And I'm looking forward to seeing what our council of former mayors is going to do with this property. I think it's going to be something really great. Everywhere we look these days, you can't drive down a street in Katy without seeing something that David Leyendecker touched. So my appreciation to all of you, especially to you, Mayor, for running with this idea.
Well, I'd like to let everybody know that, you know, Duran came to me with this suggestion of a Leyendecker landing in a different location. Mm-hmm. This is a much bigger location. This is 66.8 acres, which will be a beautiful, beautiful piece of property. And as we're all aware, and I don't think anybody knows David as long as I have, but David probably walked every square foot of that 66 acres because he was responsible for the building, implementation, design, follow through with all of the detention ponds in this area. David loved being on the prairie, and that's as close as we can get to putting him on the prairie, outside, and still be inside the city limits of Katy. And Janet, like you said, this is David, a bench, a tree, that does not really do honor to all that he did for the city of Katy and many, many citizens in Katy. There is no one at all that David at one time or another didn't help when they called him. That was just David. He was everybody's friend. With the idea that Duran got or had, and the name Leyendecker Landing was something that he came up with. We can't take credit for that. But I went to 6 of the former mayors that David worked under that are still alive. And we started hashing this around, and this is what we had come up with. They have been an integral part of getting this started. And hopefully we will all be around long enough to see it come to fruition. It's not going to be a quick project, but with our trails and jogging path, walking path, bike path that goes from First Street to Morton Road, that's the first step to connecting those detention ponds, which will be Leyendecker Landing. And it's going to take a little while, but it will be a memorial to David, his life, his service, and his love for this community for many, many generations to come. So I would like to thank all the former mayors that have spent a lot of time on Zoom with me, cutting in, cutting out, learning how to operate it. I thank every one of you, and I will give each one of you a chance to speak now if you would like to. Skip, you never miss a chance. You're on mute.
You're on mute. Mike, can you unmute him?
Skip, you're on mute.
I thought y'all liked me muted better.
You did, but go ahead.
You want me to move back and keep talking? I was just saying that you can't drive around anywhere in the city of Katy and not see the work that David Leyendecker has done, from original widening of Avenue D to, I mean, just all the streets and all the projects that he's worked on. I mean, he's been an amazing engineer for this city, and he's helped put us on the map and keep us moving. So I think this is a great opportunity to do something as a large momentum just for the small work that he's done for the city.
Thank you, Skip.
Hit me now if you want to.
Fable?
Oh, I'll keep talking.
Fable, you're on mute.
Fable's muted. Somebody tell Fable he's muted.
I think I'm on now. Am I on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You keep him muted too.
Mayor, council, I prepared a statement I'd just like to read that I think is appropriate for this situation. Since the 70s, David Linedecker served the city of Katy with distinction. He served close to a dozen mayoral administrations, and he gave his heart and soul to the city of Katy, leaving some big footprints to follow. David will be sorely missed. As a former mayor, I am honored to be a part of the creation of Linedecker Landing, a place for people to enjoy and the outdoors and nature. But the real honor goes to David and the Linedecker family. This fitting tribute to his legacy will be enjoyed by our citizens and visitors for many years to come. Mayor Hastings, thank you for allowing me to be a part of this tribute to David's legacy.
Thank you, Mayor. Don?
Yes, I knew David for all the work he'd done in the cities surrounding Katy, along with Katy, and everything that he touched, as you say, had a mark on this city and was a mark on his life of what he gave to this city. I also knew David through another way, and that was through hunting experiences and talking about ranching and hunting. And he had a ranch out near our place at Sonora, Texas. He had just purchased not too many years ago. And we always talked about things related to that and nature and all. And that was his love. I mean, that was his love, was nature and outside life and what he could do for people. And if you asked David to give you the shirt off his back, he would do it. I mean, he was that type of guy. He was a loyal person to the city of Katy and to the community of Katy. And those are the things that I look at and will always cherish. And I think that park with Linedecker Landing, and somebody had spoken of a brand and a brand on his cattle and all, and related to that. And those are things that he really enjoyed in life, and he enjoyed people, and he enjoyed doing good things for people. And he will be highly missed in the city of Katy, and he's left a mark on this city forever. Thank you.
We may find another engineering firm, but we won't find another David Linedecker.
That's correct.
True.
I think he could tell you where every manhole was in this city. I guarantee you could. And what size pipe came into it or out of it.
Mayor Bronner, I see you on the line. Would you like to say something?
Yep, you're on mute. You're on mute. Chuck. Mayor? Yep.
Got it. Learning this stuff. I tell you, it was a pleasure working with him, starting in 2013. And what I found out about David was, of course, he knew where every pipe was and what the size of it was. But the main thing about David was that if there was a problem, he was a problem solver. And he never really shook those duties. If a citizen was upset about something or they didn't understand something, David walked right in and even trying to resolve the problem at the quickest, best way for all involved, the city, the citizen. He was just a fine man and a fine gentleman, and he's going to be sorely missed. So that's what I have to say with David. He's a great man, and I've enjoyed the 6 years of being associated with city council and mayor that I got to know him and see the work that he did do. Bill, I appreciate you putting all this together for us. It's going to be fun bringing this all to fruition over the next period of time that it's going to take.
It will. Thank you, Chuck. Mayor Callender, I see you're on the line.
I'm here. Well, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody said wonderful things about David. All that's true, and I would just be echoing what everyone said. But David was truly a pioneer for our city. As I think about David and going back in '73 when I first met David, probably on a Katy Land project there in Katy. I was with a telephone company here with the city, and I tell you, anything you want to try to do, he'd work with you. And he put the city first, always took care of the mayors and the people of the city of Katy, but he never was selfish in any way other than what can I do to make things better. But I can just start seeing him standing out there, Linedecker Landing, sort of had that hand on his hip, looking over the prairie, looking at the grass, and he was a nature lover. We like longhorns together. I don't know his Aggie, but I'm talking about the four-legged longhorns. We talked and traded and swapped those many times, but Dave was a very good friend and a great engineer, a great man, and I can't see anything more befitting than him would be out there on Linedecker Landing, right in the middle of nature, right where he lived and enjoyed. So I want to thank the mayor, Bill, of getting us together and getting our input. I know we all had good times with David, and he helped us all. We can just think about all the situations he got us out of and helped us get out of, helped us understand what to do. So my hat's always off to David, his family, and Connie, and it's very fitting for a person who deserves that so much. So thank you, Mayor Bill, for including me and all of us and taking the time to listen to us and trying to get us educated how to even do what we're doing right now. But I thank you, and I thank the city coming together and doing this. So with that, I'll end and say thank you. We're going to make it a wonderful project. I know the city's going to be proud of, and the Linedecker family is going to be very proud of.
Yeah.
All right, I know I had spoken with Hank, and Hank was not able to be here this evening, but he pretty much echoed the same sentiments that every one of y'all has expressed, just like so many other people in the community. I talked to Connie the other evening, and she's beyond appreciative of what's going on to honor David.
Yeah.
So, you know, guys, I have to admit that once again, I got lost. I know we had a motion, and I know we had a second and everything. Is there any other discussion, or have I missed something? Art, did I miss something?
Art, you're on mute.
I'm sorry, Mayor. No, Mayor. You call for the vote, man.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Connie, I know your family is listening. If you would like to say something, you can. If not, I just want to tell you that we all love you and your family. I know you put up with a lot from David and his strange hours and his phone calls, but God bless each and every one of you, and our thoughts and prayers are all with you. So with that being,
Mayor,
yes.
Kimberly has raised her hand, and we will promote her now so that she can speak.
Okay.
Kim, Connie, are y'all there?
We're here.
Yes.
I don't, sorry. I don't think Mom can talk, but we just wanted you all to know that we really appreciate it. We miss him terribly, and he would love this. He would be beside himself that you all did this for him. And we can't thank you enough. My kids and my nephew will absolutely love getting to watch this project be built and getting to go there when it's finished. So we appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim.
Yeah.
All right, we will move on to item number 10. And council members' reports, and I'm just looking at my screen and going to go left to right. Councilman Roberts.
All right. Thank you. That was a very moving. I didn't know him well, but I'm very glad that we were able to do this. Just real quick. Recently, the city announced that the employees of Katy awarded as the Employees of the Year. I'd reiterate that this is the absolute right decision, and they proved it again last week. The Public Works Department, Fire Department, and Police Department were incredible. I'm at a loss for word. I offer my sincerest thanks to all who went above and beyond. You represented our city so well. I would also like to mention how great the KT alert system worked. It worked as promised, and another great job keeping everyone informed and up to date. I encourage every citizen to sign up for that alert. Another thanks to our Office of Emergency Management. I know Mr. Godecker and so many others were away from their families for so many days in these trying times. I know there's still many families dealing with damage from the storm. These challenges are not easy and are so stressful to you, your children, and the entire community as a whole. Please reach out for help. There are so many organizations that can assist. Start with Katy Christian Ministries. They are such a wonderful group who work so hard to help the families in our community. I would also like to say that to the Myers family, that you're in our thoughts and prayers. The loss of Midway Barbecue is such a tragic loss. I know they will rebuild as they have before, but some of the memories from my own childhood will be lost forever. The trophies and pictures are the real loss. Try and look for an upcoming event to help the employees while they rebuild. Check with MKT Distillery for more information on the benefit or on March 6th. To help those families. I know Katy will come out stronger, as we always do. But again, thank you all for who put in the extra time away from your own families to help out the families in Katy. Thank you all.
All right, Councilmember Stockton.
I'd like to start with thanking Duran for the name, Linedecker Landing. I mean, what a legacy. It's an incredible name. I'm so super excited. I can just imagine that, I'm going to try to say this without crying, but I can just imagine he's up above us, just smiling on y'all for coming up with that, for all the mayors coming together. I mean, I want to thank you guys for doing that. That's such an incredible honor and legacy left to his family that I'm super excited to see it. I just can't wait. I'd like to thank the city, all the employees, all the staff for all the work that you've done, for handing out water, for working long, long hours. And I want to thank the community. I mean, what an incredible example we have of this community that we live in, where everybody came together. Everybody set aside their differences, and we did whatever we could do to fix plumbing and turn people's water off and give them water and provide meals. So I'm so honored and proud to be a part of this community. I just want to thank everyone for that. And then lastly, I want to thank Sean, Claudine, and Lynn for bringing up the animal control. It's something the city is still working on. And I just want to let you know, I personally sent an email yesterday, and I know Rory did as well, asking for this to be added to the next city council meeting on March 8th. So it's not forgotten. We've asked for an update as well. And so hopefully we'll be able to deliver that. Everybody have a great week. Thank you.
Councilmember Thiel.
Well, it's hard to add any more than what's already been said here with the way the city responded last week. My house backs up to Kingsland, and I heard fire, EMS, Katy Police Department going up and down Kingsland when they shouldn't have been out on the roads, going out to help the people. It's pretty amazing. And also at the David Linedecker, like I said, I worked with him for many years on the zoning board. Always had the answers for you. Never made you feel stupid. Just really amazing person, and I appreciate his service. And also the other mayor's services that have been on this call. Other thing is, good to see the 2020 Katy Tiger High School football sticker up on the water tower now. Looks good up there. We have room for 2 more, I think they said, but we should maybe get another water tower after the two are added up there. That's it for me.
Thank you, Dusty. Janet?
Well, it's not a whole lot left to cover. I also want to thank the city employees for all their efforts last week. They just did an amazing job. They went above and beyond. And like Rory said, they definitely earned, every one of them earned the Employee of the Year. I also want to, thank the residents. Like everybody has said, everybody stepped up. We put our differences aside. We helped each other no matter what they needed. And we just showed everybody what Katy is made of. And I've seen the recent hashtag about Katy Strong, and I like that. And I think this really is a good one for our residents. So thank you, everybody. Y'all try and stay safe for this coming weekend. And I'm done.
Thank you, Janet. Chris?
Well, again, just echo what everybody else said about our great employees this past week. Did an excellent job. Administrator was there, just with everybody else. It was just a great effort by all. The Public Information Office, Ms. McGrew and Jess, and Emergency Management just did a tremendous job. It was a great effort. Not only staff, the citizens. It was reminiscent of other emergencies that we've had. When you're out driving around, there's neighbors helping neighbors. It was just a great effort by all, and we have a lot to go. My heart just breaks for everybody, all of us. I think everybody was affected in some way. So it just is heartbreaking. Tiger on the Tank, that number 20 went up there for another state championship year. And, want to thank the mayor and Byron for heading that up. That was done with private donations, and that was raised. So thank you to all the donors that raised money for that. Another thing, Art, their city attorney, and me have something in common. We both had great aunts that had birthdays this week. His great aunt was 103, right?
Yes, 103.
And then I have my great aunt 102 months, so 103. So mine's 102, so I'm a year behind you. But happy birthday to both of them.
All right, I think that was it. We will move on to item 10, which is my mayor's report. And I feel like I'm 105, so I feel like I've beat both of them. But back to the community. What a godsend. It's so, if anything can be wonderful, it's the way this community and all of our departments and services pull together and once again get us through one more, I'm going to call it a hurdle. It was a high hurdle. But, Greg Gudecker and Emergency Management, they kind of led the charge, on the water distribution, making sure that everybody's needs were filled. Police department, fire department, and once again, Public Works, the unsung heroes. My hat's off to you. Y'all all were great, and it was a pleasure and a wonderful experience just to kind of sit back and watch what y'all did to make this community what it is today. On a lighter note, Becky McGrew, you got your recertification by the Texas Municipal Clerk Program. You're another unsung hero that, well, all of our administrative people are, but thank you for your diligence, your service to the city, and congratulations on your renewal to a really well-earned, hard-earned certification.
Thank you, Mayor.
Same thing with Midway, our heart goes out to you. It's not the building, it's not the business you've lost, it's the memories Herman had in that building that are irreplaceable. And Herman and I hunted together a lot of years when he was poor and I was poor. Well, I'm still poor, but when Herman was poor, we hunted a lot together. And I know his passion and his love for hunting. And he lost lots of memories. that are hanging on a wall, but he's still got them in his mind. And Herman, I know that you have not made your last hunting trip, so you'll replace some of these. That's really about all I've got. Thanks again to all employees in the community for the way you banded together and got us through this. Art, Byron, thank you all for your leadership and all of your advice. Becky, all the other staff. I'm going to shut up now and just go ahead and ask for a motion to adjourn. It was an honor to have presented that resolution tonight, and I appreciate everybody's thoughts, hopes, dreams, aspirations for what Linedecker Landing will become one day. And it's not going to be as far off as everybody thinks. So with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Motion and second. You need all in favor, say aye.
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 I even got an eye from Becky. Anybody opposed? Same sign. Hearing none. Motion to adjourn. I forget who called it out, Becky. You got all that, but we'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting.
We're done.
Okay. At 5:56. Y'all all have a wonderful evening. Go home and get some rest. It's been a long week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
We're adjourned.